I'm curious about the whole naked eye clause here, because it seems as though we're not discussing the situation that Lexi Thompson faced with this decision.
Right, and I love the fact that this constitutes breaking news in the world of golf, which shows you how civilized our little world is. Because on another channel, this wouldn't be breaking news, but we find it very interesting. But if you go even a little deeper there, I don't think there's really that much news here. People are going to read this as an interpretation. People are going to interpret this as a response to Lexi Thompson's situation. It really isn't. Lexi Thompson's situation is very simple. The rules require you to play the ball as it lies. She didn't. She moved her ball over by a half an inch. She violated the rule. The TV viewer who called in, or whomever it might have been, was not the rules official, as people like to say. They just alerted a rules official to apply the rule, and there's nothing in this decision that changes really anything in this regard. So it doesn't really apply to that. But as we know, it does apply to other situations.
Yes, it seems as though it may be going back to last year's U.S. Women's Open when Anna Nordquist was in the playoff, accidentally brushed a couple of grains of sand in a bunker on her backswing, ends up being assessed a 2-shot penalty, loses the U.S. Women's Open to Brittany Lang. Now, that's a situation where I can see she had no idea that she hit those grains of sand. However, HD video zooming in on the club face and the impact, and you can clearly see a few grains of sand moved. She was none the wiser.
That was insane use of HD TV, because just for the way that this decision says, although there was enough wiggle room there where they didn't have to give Anna those 2 shots then. And then we saw it more recently with Sergio Garcia at the Masters this year when he was fussing around on Sunday with the pine needles, and some people thought that ball moved slightly. I never saw that ball move slightly. I think a pine needle went up and it gave the optical illusion of the ball moving. It doesn't matter. Sergio could not have seen, or they determined that he didn't without even bringing Sergio in. There's another clause in this, if the player now has more opportunity to come in and explain what he or she was doing, so that there's more information for the rules official to decide.
Exactly. The whole reasonable word here, right? This is a gray area, and this is where I think that questions will still be raised, because certainly you can have a reasonable attempt to drop a ball or a reasonable idea of doing really any number of things on the golf course. But who gets to say whether you are acting reasonably or not?
Right, and it's a meeting of the minds to some degree, because the player can make the case and the rules official can make their case as well, and they shouldn't be at odds with each other. In theory, they shouldn't be, but sometimes they are. But to your point, what is reasonable? Well, we know how precise the players are, and this is a point I should have made earlier when I've discussed this. When the players are marking the ball and they want that arrow perfectly lined up, it is amazing how precise they can be, because it suits them. Well, that exact same level of care needs to be taken when you're putting the ball down. The basic people can make this stuff really complicated. The basic underlying ethic of golf is play the ball as it lies. It's almost a courtesy that the rule allows you now to clean your ball. It didn't always. It allows you to clean it and put it back down. But since we're giving you that opportunity, do the right thing and put it back exactly where it was. And Lexi failed to do that, and that's why she got the 2 shots and the 2 touches additionally, because she should have figured that out actually before she signed her scorecard. You know, just to go on a little side tangent here, we're moving, and I don't even know if the tour players understand this, the tremendous corporate support that golf gets. Women's golf, men's golf, even amateur golf, collegiate golf, is rooted in the fact that there's so much integrity. If we get away from that basic principle, if it gets to the principle of the player trying to get away from something, they actually could kill the goose that laid the golden egg, which is people's faith in their scores. So there's a very slippery, dangerous thing potentially going on here.